Teo Heng Soon knows how upskilling can give you a boost in the workplace. The 27-year-old works in an HR consulting firm.
I'm supporting the leadership development team, where we help leaders upskill their skill sets and mindsets so that they can work better. I think the general sensing that I've been noticing around friends, and also there has been a decline in employment rate among graduates within the first 6 months of graduating. And I'm noticing that your degree or your diploma cert is becoming less of a differentiator as more and more people go through the graduate route. And that means grades are just one of the other factors.
This young worker is walking the walk. He recently completed a coaching course using funds from his post-secondary education account. And he's going to continue his upskilling journey.
I'm planning on using the $500 SkillsFuture credits I got when I turned 25, taking the ACLP course. It's basically a train-the-trainer training program I'm thinking of taking up in about late 2025 to 2026.
Experts say Heng Soon's learning journey shows a turning point in the future of work.
The reality is, the pace of change in the industries and also in terms of technology, especially with generative AI and quantum computing, etc., is that the rate of obsolescence of the things that we may have learned in school is very, very rapid. So I think increasingly we'll probably shift to this model where there will be greater incentives to help workers to continue to refresh and upskill and reskill.
Earlier iterations of the SkillsFuture movement in various budgets focused around trying to get citizens to start learning. Today we are in a stage where we've understood that, as PM mentioned, that we won't be able to save every job, but we'll invest in every worker. We are now moving from lifelong learning towards lifelong employability, which is equipping the workforce for transformation.
From March 2025, participants of selected full-time courses can apply for a training allowance of up to $3,000 per month. Each worker can receive up to 24 months' worth of allowance or up to $72,000. From 2026, the training allowance under the program will be extended to part-time training. These workers can get a fixed allowance of $300 a month to defray their learning expenses.
One of the biggest highlights for me in this budget, because it also includes people to do part-time work. You're actually now being able to integrate some of that learning into your work, right? Therefore, you're able to move to a better job a lot faster. You're able to move to a better career a lot faster. You don't need to exit the workforce to do learning, then try and re-enter the workforce, which is dependent on economic circumstances, dependent on abilities of companies to hire.
Lower wage workers aged 30 and above will also enjoy an enhanced tier of support. The Workforce Skills Support Scheme will be enhanced with training allowances and will include longer form courses. Currently, the scheme primarily funds short courses completed within a few days.
If you look at technologies, look at transformation, most of their jobs are ripe for disruption. Therefore, it is even more important for low-wage workers to upskill and reskill and to create new pathways for themselves to transition from a low-wage worker to a higher-wage worker.
Besides the new upskilling initiatives in Budget 2025, Heng Soon is also paying close attention to the property space. That's because he's looking at setting up a home with his partner.
I've been having a long-distance relationship with my girlfriend for about 3 years now. So I think we want to close the gap, the distance gap, and want to settle down, at least for the foreseeable future, in Singapore.
Heng Soon's fiancée is from Indonesia, and the couple are looking at registering their marriage in Singapore so that they can eventually apply for a build-to-order or BTO flat.
So once we are registered under the ROM, there's one more pathway that opens up to her. So one is the employment pathway, where she needs to work for a few years first. And the other one is if she's married to me, she can get her long-term visit pass and can start applying for PR as well. Because right now, BTO projects, we can't have one Singaporean and one foreigner. It has to be a Singaporean and PR, or both Singaporeans.
While there were no new major property measures announced in Budget 2025, the government reiterated that it was ramping up BTO supply decisively, adding that it was also paying close attention to public housing and that previous cooling measures will eventually help to stabilise the resale market.
I still am quite constructive in terms of the private residential market. We still think that there is possibility of prices to go up anywhere between 2 to 4%, right? But if you look at the public housing market, it is true that supply has been ramping up very rapidly ever since COVID struck. So I do think that the demand supply will reach some form of equilibrium in the coming quarters, if not the years. I think there is probably no need to be too knee-jerk in terms of a reaction from the policy front.
Getting permanent residency for his partner will be a step towards Heng Soon's property goal of a BTO flat in the Queenstown area. However, if Heng Soon's fiancée does not get her PR in the near future, the couple will have to rely on the HDB resale market. So any potential cooling measures outside Budget 2025 will come as a relief to prospective buyers like Heng Soon.
The property market in general, like the resale market as well, has gone up. So I'm curious to see what the government is going to be doing to help close the gap between what we're actually earning and what we have to pay for properties, whether be it BTOs or, for my case, maybe in a realistic situation, a resale flat.
The resale HDB market is kind of like the jumping board for most Singaporeans who are aspiring to private condos, right? So if there's a big price correction, for example, in the HDB resale price, then it is possible that private residential market is a little bit further from their reach itself. So I think the policymakers basically have to strike quite a careful balance. It does look like there's no need to. Maybe it also has to do with the timing of the elections that's coming up. So they have held off on any property cooling measure for now.
For now, Heng Soon is glad that more is being done to ramp up public housing supply.
From Budget 2025 announcements made, for the public housing side, I would say I was quite happy. There was mention of 50,000 homes being built in the next 3 years. There's also a new release of sales of balance flats. And I think all these announcements will allow me to feel more at ease.
He's also excited about the possibility of taking advantage of various Skills Future schemes in the future.
I think down the line, the Skills Future Credit program will benefit me immensely, especially when I'm in the middle of my career. So I think having the Skills Future credits in my arsenal of options for me to upskill will be very beneficial.